Kurt-Pilon trying to figure out the pair here, the television pair, 47 and 48.
Needs to fit the ball in between the 3 and the 6. A spare that he's going with a harder ball.
Don't want to hook it much, do you?
No.
Just like that.
A good spare covered by Pilon. Shaking his head, but happy to have it. Sugar Ray Leonard, one of the people in the crowd today, and really glad to have the champ here. 5-time world champion.
And there's Sugar Ray in the crowd, but neither player here able to provide the knockout punch early on in this match between Himmler and Pilon. Himmler leads it by 2 in the 5th. Brings it out.
More confident shot from Brian-Himmler.
Himmler making his way, dropped to 24th after the second round.
Well, he certainly found the line now. High flush in the pocket on the right-hand lane, lane 48. Now on 47, can he put 2 strikes together? He likes it. He runs it out. You can tell halfway through, Brian-Himmler very satisfied with that release.
Better save some should he advance.
Watch the ball as it goes out to about the 4 board. Coming back, 5-pin just gets annihilated by the power that Brian-Himmler puts on the ball.
12-pin advantage now for Himmler after that double. Pilon up in the 6th frame.
Boy, that's what the outside of lane 48 is just on fire. It's hooking back so hard, and Pilon is having a difficult time acclimating himself to that lane. You can see his ball heading right for the nose. There's the 3 and the 10. It's a split that's easily made. He'll take the spare ball, throw it hard and straight, fit it between the 3 and the 10. Doesn't want to give Himmler any more room.
Able to do just that, fitting it in and picking up the baby split. Boy, crowds have been great all week long here at Roseland Bowl.
Well, they bowled 42 games, and I'd be willing to bet you could count on one hand the games under 200 that Kurt-Pilon bowled. Right now going at a 195 pace, trying to put some pressure on Brian-Himmler.
Out of the 42 is low just to 175. Very consistent week.
And the bucket, the 2, 4, 5, and 8. I'd rather shoot at the 3-10 split than the 2, 4, 5, 8. There are just so many ways to miss this that it's very difficult. Tried to get the ball in between the 2 and the 5. Let the ball carry on into the 8-pin, and the 2 will take care of the 4.
Again, you don't want to hook it too much. Stand right a little bit.
He's going with the spare ball.
Well, you talked about it. And he left the door open now for Brian-Himmler. Kurt-Pilon with an open in the 7th. He has 120 through 7. And there you have it, leaving the door open. And Brian-Himmler, will he walk through? We'll know in a minute. Pin advantage, Brian-Himmler on top, and he seems to have found it, Marshall. Last couple of shots right there.
Well, the last 2 shots, he was right where he wanted to be. If he can throw strikes here in the 7th and 8th frames, I think it's going to be a very short day for Kurt-Pilon. Well, he struck, but he's far from being lined in as that ball crossed over. They call that a Brooklyn.
What's going through a player's mind right now?
Right now, what's going through Himmler's mind is he's thanking whoever he thanks when he gets a good break, because he stole one. He did that last night in the position round game, threw the ball wide and carried a Brooklyn that I think it was in between like 5 or 6 strikes in a row. So good break, certainly part of this game.
8th frame, he's got another one. down, so that's 4 in a row now for Himmler. Friday night at 8 o'clock on ESPN, it's National Hockey Night from Madison Square Garden in New York. New York Rangers, led by Theo Fleury and Brian Leetch, host division rivals the Philadelphia Flyers and their captain Eric Lindros. ESPN and ABC are now your exclusive home for all NHL action. So join us Friday night for the Rangers and Flyers on ESPN. Yeah, Himmler, the final game last night, shot .241 to move it in the top 5.
Kurt-Pilon switches balls, moves further left, gets away from that burnout dry area on lane 48.
It's too late.
Yeah, well, I think it very well could be. Pilon with a possible 210. Right now, Brian-Himmler is looking at a 229 pace. That's if he just spares out.
Pilon with that 214 average this year. Well, you learn, don't you, once you make a few telecasts.
And you have very little time to make adjustments.
Wow.
And that ball simply fell off his hand. A little wry smile from Kurt-Pilon. I think he pretty much knows that even if he would have struck out, it probably wasn't going to be his day. Ball slips off into the channel at about 45, 48 feet, and the reaction of Kurt-Pilon. Oops. Yeah, he'll have other opportunities, and don't worry about it, Kurt. I've done that a few times.
You always smiled when you did that too, didn't you, Marshall?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, coming back now. And put it right there for a spare. Pilon, no, the best he can shoot 190. And Brian-Himmler now just looking, I think, to Walter Ray Williams Jr., and he has to get lined in.
Well, very, very good point, Phil. That's exactly what he's thinking right now, is figuring out lane 48. The match is basically won. Needs to figure this lane out. He moved in even farther to the left.
Now, when you say move in, moving a little left.
Moving left with his feet and left with the ball as well. You can see the ball now only going out to about the 8 board, coming right back, high flush, solid in the pocket. That ball never touched the 9 pin. Went right past it, but got some help from one of his friends.
Possible 259 for Himmler. He leads by 59 as we head into the 10th frame of match 1. Walter Ray Williams Jr. up next. Well, he is a winner. Brian-Himmler, a smile on his face, but I tell you what, a long way to go. Walter Ray Williams Jr. up next, Amleto Monticelli in that 2nd seed, and on top, Parker Bohm III. So a long way to go for Himmler. Come on back.